going to. I think having 3 million people owning the first thing that you've ever recorded makes you kind of have to live up to it in a way. It kind of puts pressure on. It put pressure on me. I was obsessed with spending every second of every day studying music and becoming better and better, and just because I felt like I wasn't worthy of what had come to me at a really early age, I needed to live up to it, I guess, and, you know.
Is that right? Because I always assumed you'd come back from, like, you know, the Frog Stomp tour or whatever, and you'd be the coolest thing at school. It's like, wow, these guys are a big act internationally. But
yeah, no, it was. I don't know why it was. We weren't. I'm not being modest. We definitely weren't the coolest thing in school. You know, when we were in school, the coolest thing in school was the guys that had the punk band that just got together and recorded their album in a day, and no one knew who they were, but they had a really cool name, and you know, they were the cool guys. We were just the other guys that were in a band that wasn't as masculine.
Because you copped that, wouldn't you? People would say you're a fag. You cop a fair bit of that. Were people just threatened by the fact that you were different? Was that it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what that was, because I started, you know, getting bashed and being called fag for a long time before I even wore makeup. So I didn't bring that upon myself, people, I can assure you. But I think that I was always getting, you know, ridiculed for wearing lipstick when I was 14. I never wore lipstick. It's so just not my thing. I'm much more into eye makeup. But yeah, so from that, I think that's why I was called faggot a lot and beaten up, and I had lovely hair back then.
Now, you were talking before about, you know, Silverchiar. You were an international star when you were still at school, still living at home. Then you moved out of home after the pre-show tour, into a house by yourself, and you sort of fell into a big pit, at the bottom of which was anorexia. Why did you stop eating?
When I stopped eating was on our second album. Just as it felt like everything was so out of control around me, and it's kind of weird, because I'd never have guessed that I would be someone that would have that as be part of my life, you know what I mean? I found it quite confusing, but I noticed myself starting to play games with myself and see how little I could get by on, and the reason, I think, was just to gain control, and also because I had a theory, because I was being beaten up a lot by people outside of school. It was almost like if I could make myself look sick enough, so I'd take the sympathy on me, and unfortunately it worked, because then I was addicted to it and couldn't start eating again, but I stopped getting beaten up, so whatever.
It's a tough way to go. What do you mean by gain control? How do you gain control by not eating?
Because it's like a life or death thing. You've got to eat. If you don't eat, you die. So it's knowing that no one can make you do it. Like, you know, no one can force feed you, no one can make you do it, so you ultimately have the full control over what you're doing with your body, and it starts as a game, and then just becomes an out of control thing where you're addicted to it, and you start living on less and less and less and less and less, and you can see the changes in your body only when I'd put clothes on. I'd think, oh, these are like 8 sizes bigger than I remember, but still looked in the mirror and thought, but nothing's changed. I don't understand how all my clothes are stretched and I still look the same. But yeah, it's irrational, and it's another frivolous pursuit.
Well, it was a pretty crucial pursuit.
Yeah.
What did food in this time, what did food look like to you?
It was just the enemy. I just hated the look of it, the smell of it. If anyone talked about it, I'd leave the room. It was in the same genre as telephones. I just, during that period, didn't have a telephone. If a telephone rang, if I was in a building and a telephone rang, I'd literally get up and quickly and gently move away from the building, because I didn't want to hear the telephone ring, because it scared me. Maybe someone was going to ask me to go on tour. But yeah, I don't know, it's just, I hated it. I hated everything about it. And every time I ate, because I've got a really vivid imagination, somehow convince myself that apples contained razor blades and wouldn't go to restaurants because I thought that every chef in the world wanted to poison me. And local. But,
Well,
you know, I'm well balanced now and very much together.
But you're not. Many people have gone through this. Did you have any sense that these were crazy thoughts, or was a part of you thinking, oh, yeah, I'm an artist, artists do this?
No, I
kind of
didn't.
thing?
I didn't think any of it's crazy.
No.
I thought everyone else was just being really mean.
Yeah?
Like, I just thought everyone else was just picking on me and being really, really mean.
Because people got really worried. I know you got down to 50 kilos and your family doctor said, keep going like this, you're going to die.
Yeah.
Did your parents have a handle on what was happening to you?
Yeah, I think they were worried, but they wouldn't. I mean, I don't think they would have wanted to bring it up with me for fear of me storming out and leaving and knowing that I wouldn't really... There's no real place for a 17-year-old celebrity on the Sydney streets. So I guess they were just like... They had to keep quiet, but they were concerned. They just didn't bring it up with me because I think they thought I was going to run away and do something else silly.